Okay, stay out of trouble. Ah, okay, this fits right in. Okay. And the space to write explain what is meant by a misdemeanor offense and give some examples of such, and a felony offense and give some examples of such. Which offenses can lead to deportation from the United States? Well, certainly any felony offense can lead to deportation from the United States. Okay. I had a student many years ago from the Middle East. I won't tell you which country, but he was tall, handsome man. A lot of the men in the Middle East are very masculine. You know, they're tall, they're muscular. They have kind of European-looking faces. They're quite handsome. He was one of these guys. And he had a problem. He had a weakness for women. And from what he told me, he went to a bar. He went to a country, and they took her back to his apartment. And he put something in her drink. I don't know what, but I'm not interested. Okay. I don't know what the term was. But he put something in her drink, and when she woke up, she didn't have her clothes on. She didn't have any clothes on. So she called the police. And the police came and they arrested him. And he went to trial. He told me that his family spent $30,000 on legal fees to try to save him. Because he came from some of the countries in the Middle East are doing very well, like Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and Qatar, but some are not. And he came from a country in the Middle East that is not doing that well. I would say terrible, but not that well. So he came with the American team of getting education here and working here and getting a green card, and making a life for himself in the United States. That was his intention. And but went to court and went to trial, and he was convicted of rape. Rape is a felony. And so the jury convicted him of rape, found him guilty of rape. And then the judge sentenced him to 15 years in prison. He must have been about in his 20s, I think 25. And the judge sentenced him to 15 years in prison for rape. Okay. So, yeah, his lawyer asked the judge, well, are there any other options? Because, you know, to keep somebody in prison for 15 years is going to cost the United States taxpayers a lot of money. It costs probably around at least $50,000 per year per prisoner. So $50,000 times 50 years, you're talking like something like almost $1 million to keep this guy in prison for 50 years. So his lawyer asked the judge, is there another option? And the judge says, well, the other option is we can deport him. And he didn't come from a rich country, he came from a kind of poor country. So going back to a poor country is probably not the best possibility. And he opted to be deported. And he got deported. Okay. So anyway, misdemeanor offenses are small offenses that get you in trouble. Like, for example, spitting on the sidewalk, that's a misdemeanor. You're not supposed to spit on the sidewalk, right? Yeah, police officers, they can take it. Okay. Sometimes teenage girls go to drugstores and they steal makeup, and they get arrested for stealing makeup. And they have to go to court, and there's a fee and a fine, and it's not very pleasant, but it's a minor offense. And sometimes young men go to department stores and they steal sunglasses because they want to look cool. And same thing, they get arrested, they go to court, there's a fine, and they have a misdemeanor on the record. Now, if you're a minor, you're convicted of a misdemeanor, when you become an adult, that criminal record will be taken off your record. But if you're an adult, it will never come off your record. Okay? So if you commit a misdemeanor, like stealing sunglasses or stealing makeup or dress, shoes, whatever. You're an adult, that will stay with you for the rest of your life. It's a kind of like a poison. It's like napalm. You know, during the Vietnam War, we used the United States, I was going to say local, but I like dropped napalm in Vietnam. And napalm is a kind of a petroleum jelly, but it catches fire. And they would drop it on Vietnam. Sometimes it would to defoliate the jungle to see it was there. But sometimes it would get on people and it catches fire. So imagine you're in the jungle and they drop napalm and it gets on your skin or your clothes and catches fire. It's a mess. It's a mess. You can't get rid of it. You can't turn it off. And a misdemeanor offense is like that. You get on you can never get rid of it. It'll be with you for the rest of your life. So that's trouble. Okay? Felony offenses are more serious offenses. Felony offenses are things like murder, homicide, rape, assault with a deadly weapon, armed robbery. You name it, all the bad ones. Those are felonies, okay? And of course, a felony offense will get you in line for the deportation, right? Because if you're convicted of a misdemeanor, you get a ticket, you get some light sentence, and you have a fine, and that's it. But if you're convicted of a felony, chances are you're going to get arrested and you're going to go to prison. And then once you're in prison, then the government has control of your physical control of your body, and they can physically remove you from the United States. Okay? Very different from this. So you want to stay away. Okay. Now, the other thing I probably should mention here, most of the people getting deported from the United States are getting deported, or maybe not most, but the biggest category under which people are being deported from the United States is driving under the influence, or DUIs. Okay, so your first DUI is a misdemeanor. It's going to cost you about $15,000 in legal fees and fines, and you probably go to jail overnight. For one night. Second DUI is also a misdemeanor. It's going to cost you more than $15,000. So now you're at over $30,000, and you may go to prison for a few months. As long as I assume you didn't kill anybody in the process. The third DUI is also a misdemeanor. However, on the third DUI, the judge can declare that a felony. And if that happens, now you're in big trouble. Because now you're a felon. It's going to be very hard to find a job as a felon. You're going to go in prison for probably several years, which will make a mess of your finances. And because the government has physical control of you, of your body, there's a good possibility that you will be physically deported from the United States. Okay? So you want to stay away from this, stay out of trouble. If you go to Tijuana, which is the city that's closest to California and Mexico, you could do this. I mean, if you're able to go there because of your visa, you go there and then go talk to like the taxi drivers or the people who work in the nice hotels or the nice restaurants who speak English. And then you can ask them, how come you're here? Your English is so good. You sound like an American. What are you doing here? And they'll tell you, oh, I got deported. They'll tell you, but your English is so good. What happened? He says, well, I had a DUI. You had a DUI? Well, how many DUIs did you have? Well, I had 5 DUIs, so they deported me like that. Okay, so stay away from that. You know, that's why we have Uber, we have Lyft, we have friends. You know, who cares about $25, $50 for Uber, whatever, who cares? Right? Avoid that. Like the plague, avoid it. Okay, next slide. Oh, I probably should tell you one more story before next time. I had a student from Laos many years ago. This kind of fun. And he was a nice kid. He must have been 18, 20 years old. And he was an international student. And he asked one of his friends to give him a ride home. So he got in the car with his friend. And then his friend ran a red light and the police pulled him over. And somehow the police figured out that his friend was a drug dealer. He had a lot of drugs in his car, in his backpack that he was selling. And so this student of mine, who was from Laos, got arrested with his friend for drug dealing. And I don't think he was a drug dealer, to be honest. He was a very good kid. But he got convicted of drug dealing. And through his friends. And he got a long sentence. And in that case also he asked if he had other options, and the other option was to be deported. So he got deported to Laos. So I guess the moral of the lesson there is be careful who you hang out with. Okay, be careful with whose car you get in as well, because bad things can happen to nice people, unfortunately.